Thanks for watching Littleton Common. And now here's Barbara McCrae and Mark Crory. Welcome to our April edition of Littleton Common. And Barbara, April Fools.
Right. Do you ever do April Fool's jokes?
Unfortunately, we do. I'm usually the brunt of things, believe it or not. You know, the kids like to plan things to surprise me and to...
Oh, yeah. My kids used to do that to me, too.
Yeah. So, you know, I've had the salt in the sugar bowl, and I've had...
Oh, no.
Yeah. To put the rubber band around the spray nozzle in the faucet so that when you go to turn on the faucet, the spray comes up.
I didn't know. Oh, I got to try that.
Yeah. I think the worst one I think I'll share here is, you know Nutella?
Yeah.
It's, they took Nutella and they spread it on the toilet seat. So it looked like somebody had an accident.
Oh, no.
And it was very jarring.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. It's not a pleasant sight, but it was funny after I get over the initial, who did this? And it's good.
I'm so glad that my son didn't know.
I know, it's not fun, but happy April Fools out there for you folks, and hope that you have fun with it.
Right. It's April, and on April 8th, there will be a rare total solar eclipse, which will be seen from parts of Mexico, the U.S., and Canada. Hope we get to see it, but if we do, don't forget to protect your eyesight. And did you get glasses so you could see the eclipse?
I did not, but I do. I know the path that it's taking, and it's going to go through Burlington, Vermont.
Oh, really?
And parts of upper New Hampshire. And so, I mean, Burlington, Vermont is what they call the sweet spot, because, you know, the path of this thing, if you look at a map, it's wide, but in the middle of it is where it'll be the longest. And that's where Burlington hits. But along that path are other towns that will still see a total eclipse. It just won't be as long. So Jefferson, which is where my wife grew up, Jefferson, New Hampshire, right next to Jefferson is Lancaster, and that's also going to be in the path. It's not the sweet spot, but it's in enough that you'll get the total eclipse. So we're thinking about maybe making a little trip up there, because I don't think the next one is for like 20 years or something.
Right.
It's kind of rare. We had one 7 years ago, which went from the other direction. It went from from Washington State down through Florida. And now this one crisscrosses the other way. So it's exciting.
It is.
You know, people throughout the generations have always marveled at things like this. You know, when you see.
I've never seen one, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to drive to one of the?
No. I mean, I may end up seeing it on cable.
Yeah. Well, I anticipate that places like Burlington, Vermont are going to be packed.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to travel there, and it's going to be quite the event, you know.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah, we'll look for that.
I am going to get glasses just in case we do something like that.
Yeah, well,
so
that's
make sure
important.
that you're protected.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you, on April 20th, 1972, the lunar module of Apollo 16 landed on the moon with astronauts John Young and Charlie Duke aboard. Ken Mattingly remained in orbit around the moon aboard the command module. And then one day later, on April 21st, 1972, Apollo 16 astronauts John Young and Charles Duke, they drove an electric car on the surface of the moon. And it's still up there.
10 kilometers. Huh? He's got about 2 wheels on the ground. He's a big rooster tail out of all 4 wheels. And as he turns, he skids. The back end breaks loose just like on snow. Come on back, John.
Well, in December of 1972, the crew of Apollo 17 became the last humans to walk on the moon. And I don't know if you knew this, but there are plans for the United States to return to the moon in 2026. The Artemis program, Artemis 1, was an unmanned launch which took place in 2022, and that orbited the moon and successfully landed back on Earth. Artemis 2 is a manned flight, and that's scheduled for 2025. And that will also attempt to just orbit around the moon and come back to Earth. If all goes as planned, Artemis 3 will attempt to land on the moon with the first humans since Apollo 17 in December of 1972, 54 years later. Now, with today's technology, it would be fascinating to follow the developments of these planned missions, and I'm sure that NASA will be streaming them live with HD quality. It's going to be quite an event. April is also a busy month for other things moon-related, because on April 23rd, we will all see a full pink moon, and it will have the appearance of moss pink or wild ground phlox, which is one of the first spring flowers.
Right. And speaking of flowers, my guests were here, and they were Jeannie Kingsley, president of the Littleton Country Gardeners, and Gwen McLaren, Garden Club member. And the gardeners are getting ready for their spring plant sale. For me, it's the best time to start thinking about my gardens, and being a member of the Littleton Country Gardeners helps too. It's time to think about our gardens when we see the Country Gardeners plant sale on the Common. And of course, we're going to have one this year, as always. And I want to say it's always a pleasure. I'm reading from my notes here so that I get it right, but I know that it's always a pleasure to roam through the Country Gardeners plant sale and see all the wonderful things that you have there lined up for us to go through, and that a lot of it comes from our own gardens. I have been a member for a long, long time, and this is why I love planting my gardens, because I've been taught things through the Country Gardeners. So ladies, let's talk about the plant sale.
Yeah, great.
What's the date, first of all?
It's May 11th, and that is the day before Mother's Day, so it's a perfect opportunity for people to buy Mother's Day things.
Right, right. And to think about their gardens, of course. And yeah, because are you going to have some little fairy gardens and things like that this year?
Yes, we are. We may not have as many as we did last year, but we will have some fairy gardens. But our focus is on perennials and especially natives and pollinator plants, and we're really focused on that. And if anybody wants more information on natives, or we'll certainly be pushing them, because they are very good for our world to have more pollinator-friendly plants.
Right, right. I know that you know the story about my joining the garden club, and I always have to laugh about it, and I do want to tell people about it, because if they think they're afraid to plant a garden or to join the Country Gardeners, they shouldn't be, because a friend of mine said that I needed to join. And I thought, I know nothing about planting, but they also, at the time, which they don't do anymore, send somebody to the house so that they could meet you and talk about the gardening and your gardens and stuff. Well, I had no garden, and I wanted to impress them. So I went out and I dug some plants out of the field, and I put them in my yard so that I'd look like I was growing flowers. As it turned out, I had planted bittersweet.
Oh my God.
And some other invasive plant, but nobody said anything. They just ignored that. And I did have plants in the house that I had bought so that I would look like I had plants, and I had forgotten to take the price tags off.
Oh, gee.
And I got accepted anyway. So see, and then what happened is I now have like 5 gardens. And I love doing it. I love digging in the dirt, and I like going to the garden club meetings. So I'm hoping that, people that are interested would come in and join us.
Well, the plant sale is a great time for people to sign up, and we will have a table. For one thing, we have a master gardener table where you can just come up and ask about growing anything. You know, you can tell the master gardener about what your situation is and what would be a good, you know, what are good plants to grow. We're experts on what grows well in Littleton, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And so we want to focus on that. And I must say, people do not need to be gardeners or growers to join the club.
No.
And we're very much looking to increase our membership.
Yeah.
And so if people, you know, just want to learn or know more about gardening or just meet new friends, because I've met wonderful friends in this club.
Yeah, me
and,
too.
You know, so wonderful. Another thing I have to say is that gardeners are wonderful people. They just are. They want to be at one with the earth, and, you know, they're good people, gentle people.
Right, right. Also, men are invited.
Oh, well, yes, we have two men.
Oh, 2 now.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
growing.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, because I think that men think that they, oh, this is just a woman's club, and so I probably won't join. But they're very welcome, and I know Dave Plogger is a member, and he's so wonderful about helping and doing things that we need done. And so now that there's 2, maybe we'll get 4.
Yeah, no. Well, you know, we have a lot of husbands who, and, you know, from family who help us in all kinds of ways. So,
Yeah.
you know, your family is also part of it. It
Sure.
ends up,
I used to bring my granddaughter to help me plant on the common.
yeah, yep.
I have pictures of her at 3 and 4 years old over there.
Well, that reminds me that we have Arbor Day coming up, where we we have a giveaway of young sapling trees to all the 3rd graders at the Russell Street School, and that's coming up on Arbor Day, which is the last Friday of April. I
Yes.
think it's around the 29th or something like that.
And that's been done many years, and I'm sure there's many trees around that have grown very large that were planted.
Many trees that I know.
Yeah.
Gwen has one in her yard. What kind is that?
Oh, you would ask me.
Okay, all right. We forget what it is, but it's beautiful.
It's a
Well,
spring
you have
bloomer.
a beautiful garden too, Gwen.
But I started like you. I came in because I didn't garden and I wanted to learn how. And so the club has been really wonderful.
Yeah. And the programs are wonderful, and help from everybody. Also, plantings around the town. Don't forget that. That's another thing
Our
we do,
civic
which also
sites.
needs help.
All summer long, we are, we plant in the spring all the different little urns, and you see little areas all around town. We have, I think, 12 sites.
Yeah.
12 sites that we plant in the spring and then maintain through the growing year. And they just beautify the town, and, you know, add a little something.
Right. We also keep contact with other garden clubs too. And, you know, when they're having some kind of a show or a plant sale or anything house and garden, they do invite other clubs. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
And to their fundraisers, and they have all kinds of things going on.
Yeah.
And you learn about what's going on in the gardening world in our area.
There's 2 other things that we do. That is, one of them is for children.
That's right.
This month was pretty good.
Yes, we have a monthly kids crafts, but they're garden crafts. They're garden focused.
Yep.
And I think they did sun catchers with
Yep.
dried flowers. They were beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's that's one thing. And also in our meeting this month, we are focused on tapping maple trees,
Oh.
which 3 or 4 of our members do.
Yeah.
And so that's really fun to hear how they do it and how you could learn to do it if you had a maple tree in your yard. And
Yeah.
it's really fun.
Yeah, good. And then the other program is for the seniors.
Yep. So that has been a little spotty this year. We're reorganizing it, but we are providing flowers for table settings at the meals that the Council on Aging sets up.
Okay.
Not every meal, but some of their larger party type situations.
Yeah, yeah. I do have a donation for the plant sale this time. I hope it's okay. I have
It's okay.
2 ficus trees.
Oh, wonderful.
And wait a minute, not those trees. Okay, the ficus trees in the summer, I put them outside, starting like the beginning of April or somewhere in there. When it starts warming up, I put them outside.
Right.
Then in the winter, they have to come in the house. Now they're up to the ceiling, of course. I have to trim them because they can't go any higher, or I'll have to get rid of that, second story so they can go up there. But I started some small plants.
Oh, great.
And they took, and I have one that's that big now. They grow pretty fast. So I have another one that's a little smaller, but I'm going to donate those and let somebody care for them and make them grow to be 10 feet tall if they want, as long as they bring them in the winter.
Oh,
And
that's
I like them
exciting.
outside because we have a house that doesn't have the 20-foot ceilings. We have the 7.5 or 8-foot ceilings. So I have to put them outside, and we put them on the deck, and they love it.
Nice.
And right now they are so green. They're doing very well, and so is the new little plantings. So I want to put them in a nice pot and put them in the sale so someone else can do that.
Oh, that's wonderful, and that's exactly the kind of thing that we'd like to see is plants from either your yard or your home. And so I do have to say that we dig plants from our own gardens. We remove all the soil because of this new problem, and that is jumping worms in the soil. And that's kind of a pervasive problem all across the United States that's getting worse and worse, but we're working on that. So we remove all the soil from the plants we sell, and I just want to make people reassured on that point.
Yeah.
We repackage them in new, clean soil and sell them that way. But we welcome anyone who would like us to come. We have a limited ability to do this, but we are still open to going to people's homes to dig plants that they may be willing to donate.
Good.
So if someone wants to contact us on our website, which we do have, Littleton Country Gardeners, they can let us know that they have plants to dig, and we will either say yes or no, depending on how our backs are doing by that point.
Yeah,
But-
we're not all 20.
right. But if
25.
but if people want to contact us with plants, we've gotten some very interesting plants that way that people have had in their own gardens,
Right.
and maybe for years, but now they've gotten too big, or they're just, we will come and divide, take a piece of.
Yeah. Some people
something.
might have vintage types too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
They're-
good.
Yep.
So, well, digging in the dirt to me is a lot of fun. I like to get dirty. Maybe because my mother wouldn't let me when I was little. Well, I'm making up for it now, boy.
Well, I am seeing things, and I'm sure you are too, Gwen, coming up already.
Oh, they are.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
And so that's got me a little pumped to start digging. I was
Right.
just thinking of doing that today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But, you know, it's it's exciting when you see those little shoots and you know that in a few months there'll be something wonderful.
right.
Hopefully.
Right. And the daffies are coming up, boy.
All
Yes.
over.
Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun. Now it's ready. We're ready for the garden club sale.
Yes.
Yes.
The date again?
May 11th, and it's 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. Get there early for best selection.
Right.
Yeah, right. But do ask questions if you have any. And, you know, just enjoy meeting some of the gardeners. And really, even if you have just a window box, you might want to join the gardeners just to learn how to take care of that.
Yes,
You don't
sure.
have to have an acre of land. Just, but make sure you'll love having flowers of your own, because then you can get ready for spring and you're looking forward to it, and it kind of makes you happy. So March is always a month for me that I always go, this is like okay. But then when it leaves and we can get to April, it's like you get that smile back again, right? So anyway, do find out about the country gardeners, go to the plant sale, and just enjoy making Littleton beautiful with us, right?
Absolutely. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much for having us on
Yes.
this
Oh,
show.
well, thank you for coming. I'm glad to see you. I haven't seen you all lately,
Yeah.
but here you are, and we'll look forward to the next meeting, which is April, what?
The
The end of
fourth,
April?
the fourth Tuesday. The
Fourth Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Are you listening? Can you hear me now? This is me talking to Barbara now when she doesn't have her hearing aids on.
Well, actually, Alan and I do that a lot when we don't have our hearing aids. It's like, what? What did you say?
Yeah. You know, I noticed that as we age, you know, things start to break down. I don't know if you noticed that. But
Oh, no, I haven't noticed.
Yeah. Well, one of them is my hearing, too. I think from all these years of playing in rock bands and, you know,
Yeah.
listening to loud music.
Right.
I noticed that we have an egg timer that we put eggs in, and it automatically makes them into hard-boiled eggs.
Right.
But when it's done, it gives up a high-pitched beeping,
Yep.
and I can't hear it.
Oh,
And
no.
my kids say, "Dad, you can't hear the egg timer's going off." I'm like, "Nope, can't hear that." So,
Oh.
you know, certainly the high frequencies, they say, are kind of the ones that kind of go away first.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But I'm, you know, not sure about getting hearing aids yet. Because
Well,
it's
I
like-
know. But when you do decide, do get them, because you're going to miss out on so many things, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen with a lot of seniors who don't want to wear one, and you can tell
Right.
they're trying to understand what you're saying. Whereas I've enjoyed them, actually,
Good.
because I want to know what's being said.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, right now, Dr. Megan Ford is with us from Hear Smart, right here in Littleton, and she's here to talk to you about issues that deal with hearing. So check this out.
Thank you for having me back. It's always a pleasure to be here. Today I'd like to talk about what we call the communication partner. Many times when we do a hearing test on somebody that has hearing loss, that person, that individual will tell me, I don't really notice that I have a problem hearing. It's my wife or it's my son. They're the ones that are telling me that I can't hear when they're talking to me, or I always need to turn the TV up and it's too loud for that person. But I'm okay with it. Everything's fine with me. I don't really notice a problem. And I think the reason that is many times when people have hearing loss, it's a very gradual thing that happens over time. And sometimes it becomes normal for the person with hearing loss to hear that way. They may hear things that are loud but not soft, and that is their norm. That's not unusual for them because it has happened gradually over time. Many, many years can go by, but the people that they live with, or what we call the communication partner, the one person that they communicate with the most, they notice that they're asking a question and the person with the hearing loss doesn't hear them, or they mishear, or they hear the wrong thing, or that they're trying to talk to them and the person's not responding, or when they have to watch TV together, it's very uncomfortable for the other person. So that's the person that usually is pushing someone to go and get your hearing checked, go see if you need a hearing aid. So we often invite the communication partner to come to the visits, to come to the hearing test appointment, because if we do find significant hearing loss and we recommend hearing aids, a lot of times we'll put the hearing aids on right then and there and do some further testing with the hearing aids on. But it can be very, very helpful to have that communication partner in the room, not just for moral support, but also for their voice, because that's a very familiar voice to the person with hearing loss. And if they are having any trouble hearing that person, listening with the hearing aids to that familiar voice can kind of confirm, oh, it's so much easier. My effort isn't so high whenever I have the hearing aids on. I can hear my wife much better, or I can hear my spouse much better. I had somebody just yesterday, it was a man, he had some very significant hearing loss, and his wife was very, very soft-spoken with a very high-pitched voice, and unfortunately, he had hearing loss in the range where her voice was. So when I put the hearing aids on him, I brought the wife back in the room and I had them have a little conversation, and he got a smile on his face and he said, "I can hear my wife much better, yes." And it wasn't really until he took the hearing aids off that he noticed the big difference, because once you start hearing again with hearing aids, it's very natural to hear, and it's really, a contrast when you take the hearing aids off and you realize how quiet everything just got. So I want to just emphasize that when we fit people with hearing aids, it's not just that person, but it's the communication partner, the family, the significant others, the adult children, anyone that person communicates with on a regular basis. So if you're in that situation and you have a hearing test coming up, I think everybody should go to that appointment. We always invite family members. The communication partner should definitely be there.
Check your hearing, because if you go to see the Follies, you'll want to hear every word. And yes, we are going to show the Senior Follies at the high school auditorium. And if you haven't seen these plays, you missed a fun time. On Sunday, July 7th, we will show on screen the 2014 and 2015 Senior Follies. So come and see what it's like to be a crazy senior and a few youngsters, enjoying every minute. We hope you will join us and on an afternoon of pure entertainment by our local seniors. This will be a fundraiser for the new center at $10 per person. The first show begins at 2 p.m. to 3. Then there'll be an intermission, and a second showing will begin at 3:45 to 4:45. So join us again on Sunday, September 15th at 2 p.m. for our next showing of the 2016 and 2018 Senior Follies. You won't want to miss the whole series of shows.
That sounds great. And as a public service announcement, we've been in the process of archiving all the old programs we had on DVDs and digital files up to our YouTube site. And you may have noticed a lot of older meetings and shows popping up as recent uploads on our LCTV channel. And we are nearing the end of that project, which has taken well over a year to complete. If you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. And if you click on the notification icon, the little bell there, every time a new show is uploaded, you'll receive a notice that it's there. So you won't miss a single production that we do here at LCTV. You can see many of your local government meetings there, high school events like sports, concerts, and graduation ceremonies, plus all the great local content you can't see anywhere else. So please search for Littleton Community Television's YouTube page. Become a subscriber today. We have over 980 subscribers now, and we would love to get over 1,000.
That sounds great to me. You know, Littleton is changing, and who is making these decisions? I saw at the March 19th Planning Board meeting that many Littletonians want to be considered on plans for their future. This is why we have town meetings and open board meetings, a chance to voice our opinions. The question is, why did you move to Littleton? What did you see then and see for your future here? Some see, like in Cheers, a place where everyone knows your name. Others see, far enough away from Boston, but I can commute by car or train easily. Good schools, land, and maybe no clone-like apartment buildings. But times are a-changin'. Charlie DeSantis's culinary skills have shown to the max at the breakfasts at the senior diner. Charlie and his wife Barbara make sure you don't leave with an empty stomach and you have a happy face. Thank you, Charlie and Barbara. So keep these dates on your calendars. The ladies' breakfast, April 10th. The men's breakfast, April 17th. The veterans' breakfast, April 24th. And the diner was full of attendees on March 15th when our town administrator, James Duggan, was introduced to a room full of seniors. Mr. Duggan was very informative and outgoing. He encouraged questions and received many. He found out the Littleton town folks are passionate about this place. And after meeting him, I am encouraged that he understands how some of us feel. And I'm looking forward to meeting him again.
That's great. Rubenhor Library Director Sam Alvarez joins us now to let us know what's going on in April at the library. Sam?
Thanks, Mark. And here's a sampling of what's coming up at the Rubenhor Library. On April 4th at 7, we'll have a guitar performance by Scott Ouellette. Scott is a professional classical guitarist based on the North Shore. He's been performing professionally for well over 30 years. Scott performs music from the classical, Spanish, Brazilian, and Latin American guitar repertoire, as well as his own original music. We hope you can join us. The First Connections New Moms Group will meet on Wednesday, April 10th at 1 in the Sturts Room. This open discussion group is a forum for you to share experiences and resources, connect with other new mothers, and learn about your baby's development and seek guidance about any concerns you might have. On Thursday, April 11th at 5:30, the Jelly Plate Club meets in the Sturts Room. Learn how to do jelly plate printing in this fun and exciting art activity. If you're an adult who likes to play board games, the library will hold an adult board game night on April 25th at 6 p.m. in the Murray Room. We have plenty of board games available to play or bring your own and teach the group. It's a fun night of games and laughter at the library. Anyone interested in joining our Monday morning writing club is welcome to visit the library Monday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Bring your laptop and coffee to this group of writers where you can share with each other and give feedback on what you've written. On Saturday, April 27th at 11:15 a.m., the bread bake-off is back. Here's what you need to know. There will be 2 categories, yeast bread and quick non-yeast bread. You may enter one or both. All entries must register. You may register up to Friday, April 26th. Bread should be dropped off Saturday between 11:15 and 12. Tastings will occur between 12 and 1. If your bread is to be cut at the event, please bring a cutting board and knife. The library cannot supply those. For the kids in April, we have a Lego club for ages 6 and up, and on Wednesday, April 10th at 4. Toddler Story Times Fridays at 10:30 a.m., and Littleton Country Gardener's Craft for children in grades 3 through 5 on April 16th at 3:30 p.m. Be sure to check the library website at littletonlibrary.org for more information on upcoming events and programming. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Well, Littleton recently lost 2 men who have made an impact on our small town. Gary Wilkins, the owner of Gary's Farm Stand on Route 119, and George Davis, the owner of what we townies will forever call Little Peach Convenience Store, both passed away in March. We have had the privilege to interview both of these men for our program Small Town. So, in honor of them, here are some highlights from both of these interviews.
Good to see you. Just came from Cataldo's.
Yep.
In fact, he has a list on his wall there in his shop, it mentions all the other contributing farmers who he buys from, and Gary's is mentioned very prominently there as well. So,
Well, that's good. I'm glad to help get them some good product up there, because you've got a lot of nice people that live around up in Littleton Center there that can't quite get down here, and it's sort of close to be able to walk out and go to different centers that are close by. We get more fresh vegetables into everybody's diet, and that's the trouble today, is everybody's not getting the fresh stuff into their diet. And I feel deeply that I'm doing my part to put the product that's keeping people healthy. And that's what we need to do, is support local agriculture, and Joe and all the other little farm stands are doing their best to try to do that.
right, Gary, you know as well as I do that produce is at its freshest when it's just been picked.
That's
'Cause
correct.
most of the stuff that we're buying in the supermarket has been shipped miles and miles,
That's correct.
days and days. It's been doctored up a little bit to make it look better,
Yeah.
and it's just not the same.
Yeah, it doesn't, products don't get too much better by hauling them in from across the whole country, that's for sure. And it's nice to know that you're keeping the money close to home, too.
Absolutely.
We have so many people that come from in the area here to support us, that we're really thankful for that.
No, I think we all feel that way to help support the local community. Now, before we turn this mic on, you mentioned to me that farming has its good points and its bad points. Now, we had some bad times this summer with the rain. How devastating was that?
Really devastating. I don't know if you've watched the newspapers lately, but I made the head paper in the Lowell Sun last week, the Sunday edition.
You were on the front page, and they had a big shot of you.
It showed the field that I normally pick corn was flooded with ducks swimming around out there,
That bad.
that bad. And that will be a loss until next year. I'll have to redo my whole thinking on this year, how we're going to get by. So we're struggling every day. It's something new thing that's not growing too good up there all the time. I'm just fortunate to have a lot of acres so that we can get enough out of the few acres that didn't get flooded to carry our needs here. And every year of corn I pick, I'm very thankful for.
Now, you love talking about your corn. Why don't you grab it here and let's talk about your corn?
Okay, now here is a prime looking piece of corn that I grow. I'm very, very, very proud of. It one of the best tasting corns.
Is that the candy now or the sugar?
Yeah, this is called, we call it Candy Store, but that's not really the seed name. It has a number to it. Something that's been developed in the last few years that is way ahead of the first Candy Store that came out. The first Candy Store corn was very small and it was too crunchy, and people complained about the digesting part of it. So they've come up with one that has like a velvet texture to it. So when you bite into it, it just sort of melts in your mouth, and it's just, all you can do is just think of having another ear after you've eaten this. It's so good. I've never tasted corn like it. But we do have a real severe problem with this product, and that's the birds and the insects have found out that this ear of corn is so delicious that they won't stay away from my corn. So it's either me stand in the cornfield and scare the birds away all day, or you end up having an ear of corn that looks like this here, which is not very appetizing, as you can see. And that's all caused by black starlings. They come in by the thousands, and they think they own the place. They come in and they eat my corn. So I never know from one week to the next whether we're going to have a lot of corn to sell or not. So on top of the bad weather we've had this year and this problem, it's been a real challenge of a year to grow corn. But I'm determined that I'm going to try to get the best product out for my people. I have people come from Wollaston, Quincy, all the way down to the Cape just to come get this special corn that we grow. And we've been doing corn now for about 60 years, and you can imagine how young I was when I sold my first corn.
You still doing the Silver Queen?
Oh yes, we have beautiful Silver Queen. That seems to be doing real well. We try to have a good supply of each brand on hand, so not to disappoint anybody that comes from miles around, so.
Okay. How's the new Gary's working out for you?
Fantastic. It's the best thing that we've ever done. As you probably don't know, my mother started this business in 1948, so when this venture came along to remodel and get this farm stand like it is today, all I could think of was my mother standing out by the road all those years. When it rained, we got wet, and we had to put everything away at night, and to have this is like dying and going to heaven, let me tell you.
Well, obviously, you remember the story that we did I believe it was last May, and this building was a shell.
Yes.
It was still under construction, and you were explaining to me that it was a dream in
Yeah.
tribute to your mother and to your son Dale.
And my son Dale, who we lost in '96, and a lot of his money got put into this building that he left me in his endowment. And every time I walk by and look at the building, I think of him.
No, it's a great tribute, Gary.
Yep.
You know, Gary's Farm Stand has become a real destination point for people now, especially with your tie-in with Ed Howard and Ed's Weenies.
Oh, yeah.
And gosh, you had a rock concert here, I think, a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
You have the Littleton School Department does book readings for kids on Saturdays, I believe, in May and in June, if I'm not correct.
That's correct, yes. Well, we hope to do as much as we can for the community, give back a little bit of what they've given to me over the years. And that's the reason I'm here, is because of the people in the community. And every time I see a little child, I just hope I can leave some kind of an endowment that they can have a nice place to go and buy vegetables for their family when they get to be older. And, you know, it's one of those things that's disappearing off the face of the earth today. And that's what we're here for.
And I think most of you are aware that Gary does live in Pepperell. He's lived in Pepperell for a long, long time, but really this is another home for you here in Littleton.
My wife says I live here at the farm stand. But I'm here like 14 hours a day on the average a lot of days. But I promised my wife if I work hard all summer that I'll take most of the winter off and go to the sunny south. So that seems to work out real well.
Okay, well, that sounds good. That sounds great. I'm going to go down and say hi to Ed. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
And we'll be in touch.
All righty. Hey, by the way, did you ever pay me for the 50-cent tour that you were supposed to get last time you were here?
Please turn that camera off.
Okay, George, I'd like to give you this. I'm not sure what you can do with it, but you had mentioned something like this you'd like for your cellar.
Oh.
And I hope you really do.
Oh.
But this is, you know, this is what I wanted to give to you, you know. And you notice how drawers are spelt.
Well, thank you, thank everyone.
And
That's amazing.
And I would also like to thank everybody that's here, and especially the Littleton TV, which they've done a wonderful job, and they always do a wonderful job, and they're going to keep on.
Yes.
And now I would like you to open your box and enjoy the rest of your gifts. Your toolbox.
Break a leg!
I break a leg. I don't know what to say except thank you for everything you people have done for me. This was my niche. This was my home. And in the last 27 years, I spent a lot more time here than I ever did at home. So, thank you again.
Your wife says thank you.
Thank you for that, John.
And I'd like you to open these. You can do it one at a time, please.
What is it, lottery tickets?
And I didn't have to go across the street to get them either.
So, opening these now?
Yes.
Oh, a gift card. Oh my gosh.
Figures so.
This is a gift certificate to the Golf and Ski Warehouse for $700. Oh my God. These will go into the golf bag very quickly.
And this is with the tool. Well, you can open it.
God, George. Harbor Freight Tools gift certificate for $100. I don't know. I don't know what to say. You people are way too generous. I don't deserve any of this. Can you hold that for me?
I certainly will, sir.
What was that, John?
Silence it.
Thank you for that, all of you. And this one, George.
You're quite welcome, Judge.
Oh, man.
Open that.
A gift card to Red Tail.
It's for 20 tea times at Red Tail.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I do not know what to say. All I can say is thank you.
I don't.
I have no words.
And over the years, I don't think you have to look for any words. We're just going to remember.
Yeah.
You know, what you've done and what you've said over the years. And I can remember most of the bad things. I don't know about the good things.
Yeah. The bad things I'll remember, too.
Come on.
Got a lot of laughs. Thank you again.
The Undertaker's here for you.
Yeah. Jack, you're just in time. Just in time.
You want?
Thank you again.
He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. And nobody can deny. And nobody can deny. And nobody can deny. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. And nobody can deny.
Both of them will be missed by those who knew and loved them, including many here in Littleton.
Park and Rec is getting ready to set up in May for Third Thursday. Those are at the Common or Fay Park and filled with all kinds of crafts, local businesses, and we from LCTV are there too.
Yeah, we try to be anyway. Well, listen, thanks for watching our show today, and don't forget to hug at least one senior.
Exactly.
Right. And speaking of hugging a senior, we're reminded that the fact that we have a few who are close to 100 years old right here in Littleton. So we hope to feature some of them on future shows here on Littleton Common, so stay tuned for that.
I have something else to say.
Uh-oh, we didn't plan this.
It's because I feel terrible that I forgot your birthday in March and I didn't, you know, send
It's
cards
all right.
and presents
it's
and
not,
everything. So
you know, you can get me next year, I suppose.
well, I baked you a cake.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it's in here.
Wow.
Nice and wrapped. Oops. This is what happened to it. April Fools.
Oh my goodness, April Fools. Thanks a lot. Well, folks, enjoy your April. I know that I might. We'll see you next time.